Hello, dear friends. Today we are going to discuss a topic that can radically change your life: the art of not worrying. The world is changing fast, and this change often leaves us alone with anxious thoughts. But what if I told you that this is not fate, that you can get rid of worry and live a happier life? In today's video, I will share with you 6 basic ways to live a happy life. Each of them is inspired by the deep roots of Stoicism and the recommendations of modern psychology. Once you learn these ways, you will develop a more resilient, peaceful, and balanced outlook on life. Let's get started. Accept what you cannot control. The situations we worry about most in life are often related to things we cannot control. A quote from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus sheds light on this point. "It is not events that worry me, but the meaning I attach to them." This quote helps us to grasp the essence of life. Most of our worries arise from our wrong reactions to the outside world. However, if we stop focusing on events that are beyond our control, we can achieve inner peace. Some things in life are in our hands, others are completely out of our control. To explain this, Stoic philosophers divided life into 2 parts: the things we can control and the things we cannot control. The things we can control are our thoughts, behavior, choices, and reactions. The things we cannot control are the thoughts of others, natural events, what has happened in the past, and what may happen in the future. Understanding this distinction is the first step in freeing our minds from unnecessary burdens. Worrying about things you can't control is a waste of energy. Instead, you can direct your energy to things you can actually control. An obsession with control can lead people to emotional problems such as stress, anxiety, and even depression. Some common effects of this condition are constant looping of thoughts, worrying about not being able to predict the future, keeping the mind constantly active, which can lead to sleep problems. Expectations of how people should behave can cause conflict in relationships. Chronic stress can weaken the immune system and cause inflammation in the body. The desire to control can take up too much of our time and leave us feeling mentally drained. Focusing on things you can't control, while exhausting, actually creates more anxiety and stress. The first step in getting rid of these negative effects is to recognize and accept the things you cannot control. However, this process does not end with awareness. It is necessary to turn this acceptance into a lifestyle with certain habits and practices. It should become a philosophy of life. Accepting the things you cannot control is a very important step for your mental health. Take a sheet of paper and draw 2 circles. In the inner circle, write down the things you can control. For example, your own feelings, thoughts, and behavior. In the outer circle, write the things you cannot control, such as the behavior of others, the weather, events in the past, what might happen in the future. This simple exercise will help you to clarify the areas you need to focus on. Overthinking and worrying about what is happening around us often only creates anxiety. However, instead of focusing on what we cannot control, it is mentally relaxing to focus on what we can do. We can control our own reactions, not what others think. The way we deal with life's challenges is within our control. We can ask ourselves, how can I react to an event? If a situation is bad, it is entirely up to us how we interpret it and how we react. For example, instead of getting angry when you are stuck in traffic for a long time, you can make more sense of the situation by remaining calm. Such moments show that although we cannot change the external world, we can change our internal world. A healthier mental approach to such events will make us more peaceful and happier in the long run. It is therefore important to let go of your worries and focus on what you can control. Acceptance is not just an awareness, it is a process that needs to be put into practice. Constantly reminding ourselves that this situation is beyond my control will make us more peaceful. In addition, techniques that provide mental relaxation, such as meditation, have an important place in this process. Doing a simple meditation for just 5 minutes a day to relax the mind can make it easier to accept the things we cannot control. Focus on your breath, observe your thoughts, and let go of any thoughts you cannot control. This type of exercise both strengthens your mental health and reduces the intensity of your worries. Worrying about things you can't control is a waste of time and energy. What is important in your life is to focus that energy in the right direction. Inner peace comes not from changing the external world, but from focusing on how we respond to it. For example, by approaching the challenges in your life with a more positive attitude, you can turn every situation into a learning opportunity. To be mentally strong is to fight not against the external storm, but against the internal calm. Recognizing that nothing in life is completely out of our control is the first step towards freedom. This is not a sign of weakness, but of great wisdom. Accepting that not everything can be controlled gives us inner freedom. For worrying about things we cannot control is like living in a spiritual prison. This imprisonment can, over time, make one feel exhausted. However, when we break down these prison walls and turn to the area we can control, we find true freedom. Every problem in your life has a solution, but some solutions are only possible by changing your perspective. This change of perspective is achieved by focusing on your inner world, not the outer world. So instead of dwelling on what you cannot control, ask yourself how you can deal with your current situation in a healthier way. When you realize that the source of your worries is out of your control, you can move on and find more peace in your life. Every moment of life requires acceptance and adaptability rather than efforts to control. This is not just a habit of mind, but a philosophy of life. So instead of trying to control everything, focus on what you can do and let life take its course. This approach will make your life much more peaceful and meaningful. Live in the now and the moment. Being constantly caught between regrets of the past and fears of the future is one of the biggest factors that negatively affect our mental health. We spend most of our time trying to correct our past mistakes and worrying about future uncertainties. However, the only thing that is really happening is the present moment. The past is no longer under our control, and the future is uncertain. Realizing that life only makes sense in the now, in the present moment, brings great freedom. To miss this moment is to miss life. Many of us are constantly thinking about the past. If we make a mistake, we dwell on it and try not to make the same mistake again. This is often a waste of time because the past cannot be changed. The future is uncertain. We cannot know with certainty what will happen, yet most of us think, worry, and live with thoughts of future possibilities. Living this way only creates anxiety and stress. We cannot change the past, nor can we create the future with certainty. The only thing we can control is the present moment. Therefore, living in the here and now is very important for both mental and emotional health. Being present in the moment is the key to mental peace. Constantly thinking about the mistakes of the past and fixating on uncertain future events keeps us in a constant state of anxiety. This causes us not to enjoy life and not to see the value of the present moment. But life has meaning only in the present moment. The present moment is the only time when we can learn from the past and look to the future with hope. If we constantly dwell on the events of the past and focus on the uncertainties of the future, we will never truly live in the present. To live fully in each moment requires that we consciously focus our attention on the present. This is not easy in today's stressful world, but there are a few things we can do. First, we need to increase the awareness of our mind. Techniques such as meditation and mindfulness can be very helpful. Just focusing on our breathing for a few minutes, letting our thoughts pass, and simply being present in the present moment provides mental comfort. These simple practices focus us on the present moment by preventing the mind from constantly thinking about the past and the future. We can also practice being in the present moment in our daily lives. For example, simply trying to enjoy the moment while walking, eating, or reading helps to keep the mind in the present moment. When walking outside, focus on the natural beauty around you and be aware of every step you take. When eating, savor every bite, feel the smell of the food, notice the texture. Such small moments help us to appreciate the present moment and live a more peaceful life. We should not be afraid to live in the present moment. Worrying about what will happen in the future is often unnecessary, for we cannot know the future with certainty. No matter how much we worry about the future, it remains uncertain. Trying to control the future only creates anxiety and stress. But living in the present moment makes life more meaningful. Fully accepting what is in the present moment of life will bring us true peace. There is an important Stoic teaching on this subject. We cannot control external things, but we can control our inner world. In fact, trying to control events in the external world creates more stress and anxiety. However, focusing on what is happening in our inner world makes us more peaceful and healthy. Finding this peace in our inner world determines how we react to events in the outer world. Living in the present moment allows us to keep our inner world calmer and more balanced. Another important point is to appreciate the present moment. Unfortunately, we often do not realize the value of something until it is gone. The beautiful memories of the past sometimes feel like a fairy tale. Therefore, it is necessary to appreciate the present moment. Each moment is the most precious moment of our lives. Therefore, living each moment to the fullest means making the most of life. If we constantly repeat the mistakes of the past or focus on the uncertainties of the future, we miss the present moment. Living in the present moment is best for our mental and emotional health. Another important point is to make the practice of being in the present moment a continuous one. It should become a daily habit. If we can't constantly let go of the burdens of the past or the worries of the future, we need to draw our minds into the present moment with small exercises in daily life. For example, walking for just a few minutes can connect our mind to the present moment. There is also great comfort in removing distractions and focusing only on what we need to do right now. Life is a journey, and this journey only makes sense with our present steps. Living with the burden of the past or trying to predict the future only makes us tired. But by living in the present moment, we both erase the traces of the past and get rid of the uncertainty of the future. Living in the here and now is an important step towards discovering the true meaning of life and feeling more peaceful and happy. By freeing our minds from the worries of the past and the future, we can live fully in the moment. This makes us a freer, more peaceful and healthier individual. Develop your mental armor. Against negativity, there is one inescapable fact of life. Negativity will always come our way. Bad days, negative comments, disappointments and difficulties are all part of life. However, the amount of negativity in our lives depends entirely on our attitude. Stoic philosophers argue that external negativity should not affect our psyche and that we should develop a kind of mental armor against this negativity. Indeed, developing a mental armor against the negativity of the outside world helps us to maintain our inner peace. Although negativity is a part of life, how we react to it is something we can control. In this section, we will discuss some important strategies and approaches to developing your mental armor against negativity. The first step is to not allow negativity to affect us. This means preventing negativity from the outside world from entering our inner world. What people say about us, what external circumstances are, the difficulties we experience, these are all temporary factors. Each of them is only a momentary situation, and how we are affected by them is entirely our choice. To develop our mental armor, we must not take negativity personally. This is one of the basic principles of Stoic philosophy. Events in the external world are just facts, and we are affected by the meaning and reaction we give to them. When you receive a negative comment, accepting that it has nothing to do with your value or identity is the first step in building your mental armor. What people say reflects their point of view. They may say things from their own experience and personal worldview. This does not change your reality. This understanding is an effective way of protecting yourself from negative influences from the outside world. The second step in building your mental armor is not to magnify and exaggerate negativity. People sometimes overestimate their bad experiences. A small problem can be perceived as a major disaster. This has a negative effect on a person's mental health. In order to develop mental armor against negativity, it is very important to see the problems we face in the right perspective. First of all, we must remember that nothing in life is permanent. As in any situation, negativity should be temporary and transient. Life goes on immediately after an event, and the next moment offers a completely new experience. Being aware of this helps us to see difficulties as smaller, manageable elements. Instead of creating more stress by magnifying and exaggerating, we can think calmly about solutions and get rid of negativity more quickly. To develop your mental armor, you also need to be kinder to yourself. When you encounter negativity, do not criticize yourself harshly. An important part of building mental armor is developing a compassionate approach to ourselves. When you have a negative experience, you need to realize that it doesn't rob you of your worth. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone faces difficulties. The important thing is how we learn from these experiences and how we approach ourselves. Judging and harshly criticizing yourself will only stress you out more and increase the effect of negativity. Instead, be kind to yourself and say, "This is a temporary situation. How can I handle this situation better?" And look for solutions. Being understanding and patient with yourself will help you get rid of negativity more quickly. Developing mental armor against negativity is also about strengthening your inner confidence. Your confidence will allow you to overcome the negativity in the outside world more easily. To build your mental armor, always remember your own strength. Think about the challenges you have faced in the past and how you overcame them. Every challenge is an opportunity to make you stronger. To build your confidence, celebrate your small victories and remember the strength they give you. When faced with adversity, you should be able to say, "I have done this before, and this too shall pass." Your belief in your inner strength will be your mental armor against any negativity in the outside world. Another way to build your mental armor is to see the negativity in the outer world as an inner opportunity. Every negative situation is an opportunity for us to learn and grow. This perspective allows us to feel stronger in any situation. Seeing negativity as a teacher rather than a threat can improve your mental armor. For example, if you receive criticism at work, instead of seeing it as an attack, you can see it as an opportunity to improve. Negativity can sometimes help to accelerate our development. Understanding this allows you to be more resilient to negativity and to respond to it in a more emotionally healthy way. Finally, an important aspect of developing your mental armor is to continually create and strengthen a positive inner dialogue. How you talk to yourself has a direct effect on your mood. To develop mental armor against negativity, make sure your inner voice is encouraging, supportive, and constructive. Inner criticism can damage your mental health and reinforce negativity. Instead, using kind and motivating language to yourself will make it easier to overcome difficulties. Love yourself and try to feel valued in every situation. Developing your mental armor is not only a defense against adversity, but also a strategy. Being strong in the face of life's challenges and seeing them as opportunities is one of the cornerstones of your mental health. Developing a mental armor against negativity will make you a more peaceful, resilient, and healthy individual. Remember that no matter what happens in the outside world, you can find peace and tranquility in your inner world. Embrace minimalism. Although minimalism has become a popular lifestyle in recent years, it is actually a modern reflection of an understanding that has existed throughout human history. Minimalism aims to live a simpler, more meaningful and valuable life by getting rid of the chaos of the outside world. This way of life involves saying goodbye not only to material objects, but also to mental, emotional, and time-related excesses. Adopting minimalism is not just about simplifying your home. It also means simplifying your mind, your emotional baggage, and the unnecessary in your life. Incorporating this philosophy into your life can help you live a more peaceful, focused, and meaningful life. Adopting minimalism can be the key to reducing your worries, increasing your inner peace, and experiencing life more deeply. Let's take a closer look at how you can adopt minimalism. One of the basic principles of minimalism is that everything you have should have meaning. This means that your possessions, relationships, activities, and time should add value to your life. This means moving away from a life where everything becomes useless and just takes up unnecessary space. Identifying what is really important in your life allows you to simplify not only physically but also mentally and emotionally. Most people add a lot of things to their lives, but these additions often only add stress. External demands, the expectations of others, and the norms set by society constantly fill us with excess. To find true peace, however, it is necessary to let go of these excesses. This means, first and foremost, reviewing what you have and keeping only what is valuable to you. Minimalism is the understanding that not everything in the outside world is so important. This is most often seen as a stance against the impositions of consumer culture. Society often believes that having more, consuming more, working more, is an indicator of a successful and happy life. However, this perspective often leads to stress, anxiety, and burnout. Each new thing we have brings more complexity and responsibility to manage. Instead, minimalism advocates focusing on what is truly meaningful and avoiding the superfluous. This approach paves the way for us to live according to our own values, needs, and desires, rather than the pressures of the outside world. To be truly happy and live a peaceful life, we must not allow excess to take up space in our lives. Another important minimalist principle is to be in the present moment. People often miss the present moment because of past mistakes or future worries. However, minimalism emphasizes the importance of appreciating the present moment and living each moment fully. Mental excess, worries, and unnecessary thoughts make us unable to see the value of the present moment. Adopting minimalism allows us to be free of this mental clutter. It allows everything, every thought, every emotion to be in clarity and peace. Being in the present moment is not only a mental relief, it also helps us to find deeper meaning in life. Becoming mentally simpler means not only getting rid of the burdens of the past and the fears of the future, but also discovering the beauty of the present moment. Another important aspect of adopting minimalism is to use your time more efficiently. Most of the time, people spend their time just doing things, but understanding the value of time is about focusing your time on the things that really matter. Minimalism encourages the use of time as a resource, freeing it from empty and meaningless activities. This approach helps you determine what to prioritize in life. Focusing on your own values and goals prevents you from wasting time unnecessarily and gives you more freedom. Avoiding unnecessary activities allows you to spend time on what you really want. This is one way to make your life more productive, but also more peaceful. Another important point is to simplify your living space. The stuff in your home is not only a physical burden, it is also a mental one. A home where everything is organized and simple gives you peace of mind. Creating a home with only the things you need and that add value to you, reduces the chaos around you and creates a calmer environment. This simplification is not just about physical possessions, but also about simplifying your relationships with the people around you, getting rid of unnecessary burdens in relationships, moving away from people who take up space in your life and force you, helps you to live a healthier life. Minimalism is not about having more, consuming more, or achieving more. It is about doing more with less, living a more valuable life with less. This understanding offers a clearer, simpler, and more peaceful approach to both the external world and our inner world. Your possessions should be limited to those things that are meaningful to you. This simplification frees you from excess and makes you aware of what is truly important. Simplifying mentally and emotionally helps you to free yourself from the pressures of the outside world and find your own inner peace. Minimalism is not just a lifestyle change, it is a way of thinking. By integrating this mindset into your life, you can live a truly peaceful, meaningful, and fulfilling life. Show compassion for yourself. Having compassion for ourselves is a skill we often overlook, but it is an important one. Most of us, when faced with life's challenges, often criticize ourselves internally, magnify our failures, and judge ourselves harshly when we make mistakes. However, having compassion for ourselves is an approach that greatly improves both our mental health and our overall quality of life. Compassion means being kind and understanding not only to others, but also to ourselves. Treating ourselves with compassion can help us deal with difficulties in the external world as well as with our inner conflicts. In this section, we will explore the importance of self-compassion and how we can integrate this approach into our lives. Showing compassion to ourselves usually starts with forgiving ourselves. People make mistakes, make bad choices, and occasionally find themselves in negative situations. This is part of being human. Often, however, we attribute these mistakes to our own identity and see ourselves as failures. But the truth is, no one is perfect. Making mistakes is part of growing and learning. Having compassion for ourselves means understanding, accepting, and learning from these mistakes. Forgiving yourself means not letting the past define you. If you have made a mistake, instead of seeing it as a personal inadequacy, see it as an opportunity to learn. A compassionate inner voice says, "You made a mistake, but it doesn't define you. You can do better next time." This is a kind of affirmation that you give yourself, and this affirmation helps your spiritual healing. Another important compassionate approach is to acknowledge your emotional needs. We all need emotional support during difficult times, but most of the time we ignore these needs. We fight an inner battle because we expect approval and support from others, but we cannot give it to ourselves. Recognizing and meeting our emotional needs is an important part of the journey towards self-compassion. Empathize with yourself and be kind to yourself in difficult times. When you make a mistake or find yourself in a stressful situation, being able to say to yourself, "This may be very difficult for you to deal with, but it will pass and you will get through it," is one of the best examples of compassion. Showing compassion to yourself in a spiritual sense begins with understanding and accepting this emotional pain. Understanding yourself means first and foremost accepting your own humanity. This allows you to make peace with yourself and lightens your emotional burden. A compassionate approach also extends to your body and your health. Being compassionate with ourselves is not only an emotional process, but also a physical one. When we are under stress or going through a difficult time, we often ignore our physical needs. Insufficient sleep, poor eating habits, and lack of exercise are the opposite of a compassionate lifestyle. Self-compassion means listening to your body and giving it the care it needs. Getting enough sleep, exercising regularly, eating well, and resting your body will help you feel better both physically and emotionally. Compassion for your body not only improves your mental health, but also makes you feel stronger and more energetic. When we show compassion to ourselves, our inner voice also becomes kinder. When we face difficult situations, our inner voice often gives us negative messages. You couldn't do it. You are inadequate. You can't do it, etc., which makes us feel even worse about ourselves. However, a compassionate approach allows us to replace this negative voice with a supportive, encouraging, and gentle inner dialogue. Being compassionate with yourself does not mean noticing these negative thoughts and becoming desensitized to them, but rather approaching them gently. You say to yourself, I have noticed this thought, but this thought is not true. You are enough, and you are strong enough to overcome these difficulties, is the greatest compassion you can show yourself. This kind of inner dialogue makes you stronger and allows you to get rid of the effects of negativity. Being compassionate also means being patient with ourselves. As we all struggle with life's challenges, we often look for quick solutions. But some processes take time. Being compassionate with ourselves means learning to be patient with these processes. Taking time and savoring the process is an important part of a compassionate approach. Self-healing, development, and maturation can take time. This process requires patience. Compassion allows you to evolve over time rather than criticizing yourself prematurely. Being gentle with yourself every step of the way not only helps you to be more peaceful, but also helps us to go through this process in a healthier way. Finally, having compassion for ourselves means accepting ourselves as we are. We are all different. We all have strengths and weaknesses. Accepting ourselves as we are is the most fundamental aspect of being truly compassionate towards ourselves. Accepting who you are, where you come from, and the challenges you have overcome creates inner peace. Having compassion for yourself means accepting yourself without judgment, only with love. This acceptance includes your past mistakes as well as your future potential. Accepting all aspects of yourself allows you to live a more balanced and fulfilling life. Self-compassion, when made a lifelong practice, greatly improves our mental health and makes us more resilient to life's challenges. Compassion is not just an emotion, it is also a behavior. By showing compassion to yourself, you can live a healthier and more peaceful life in both the inner and outer world. Connect with your community. Humans are social creatures by nature, and forming meaningful bonds with communities and others is extremely important for emotional, mental, and even physical health. Although individualism and loneliness are often emphasized in today's world, one of the deepest human needs is to connect with others. These connections can be not only with family members, friends, or work colleagues, but also with the wider community, with a sense of community. Connecting with your community is a big step towards finding meaning in life, feeling valued, and feeling stronger, more peaceful. In this section, we will explore the importance of connecting with your community and how you can incorporate it into your life. The first step in connecting with your community is not only spending time with others, but also feeling like you belong. Seeing yourself as part of a group of people strengthens your sense of belonging and provides a support network when you feel alone. Belonging is one of the most basic human needs. Most often, loneliness begins when we feel excluded from society and our environment. Communities, on the other hand, offer us acceptance and engagement. Belonging to a community reinforces the feeling that I am here, I am valuable, and I have a place in this world. Building strong bonds with one's community is important for emotional balance and inner peace. Building these bonds makes people feel safe and secure and creates opportunities to help others. Bonding is a reciprocal process and is not just something that is given to others. It is also a contribution that you make. When you truly connect with others, you become more than a receiver. You become a giver. It is important to remember that connection with your community is based on mutual sharing. In community relationships, it is important not only to receive, but also to help, to listen, and to make others feel valued. Helping others not only improves their lives, but also makes you feel more fulfilled and meaningful. We can see that helping others is one of the most powerful ways to increase your inner peace and live a meaningful life. Benevolence not only strengthens the spirit of a community, but also the spiritual health of the individual. Connecting with your community should not just be about superficial relationships. Deep and meaningful connections make your life more fulfilling. These connections are shaped by shared values, shared experiences, and a strong understanding. When you truly connect with people, it is not just a friendship or a relationship, but a process that builds trust and deep understanding. Connecting with your community requires going beyond superficial interactions. This means not just being close to people, but being with people who share your values. Uniting around a common purpose, values, or shared passion creates a strong community bond. Such bonds make people feel more meaningful and valuable. Bonding also involves being emotionally open to others. Being part of a community sometimes means accepting to be emotionally vulnerable. In order to connect intimately with people, it is necessary to be emotionally open and, in a sense, to give yourself to others. This involves taking emotional risks and sharing your feelings, thoughts, and experiences with others. Being emotionally open allows others to become emotionally close to you. Communication is the basis of healthy relationships, and emotional openness deepens this communication. Expressing your own feelings helps you to be more sensitive to the feelings of others and strengthens bonds within the community. This allows you to understand and build stronger bonds, not only with yourself, but also with others. As you connect with your community, it is also important to build a supportive network. Life is not always smooth, and challenges are inevitable. But within a community, you are not alone in the face of adversity. Community is a powerful source of support. A network that provides both emotional and practical support can help you through difficult times. The people in your community are not just working with you, they are working for you. This creates a sense of trust and allows you to face life's challenges with greater strength. Connecting with your community also means receiving this kind of support and giving it to others when needed. Being in a community is not just an individual journey, but a shared journey of life. Building strong bonds within a community means building a bond not only with others, but also with yourself. The person people most need to connect with is themselves. The love, understanding, and compassion you have for yourself strengthens your bonds with others. When you accept and love yourself, you can be open and loving to others in the same way. The bond with your community is like a feedback loop. When you love yourself, you build stronger bonds with others. And when you show love to others, you show love to yourself. By striking this balance, you can develop deep and meaningful relationships with your community and live a more fulfilling life. Finally, another important aspect of connecting with your community is to improve the quality of the time you spend together. Belonging to a community is not just about being part of it, it is about adding value to it. Spending time with individuals in the community, getting to know them better and creating meaningful moments together deepens the bonds. Spending quality time with your community means sharing more, laughing together, and growing together. Such interactions contribute to personal development and help the community as a whole to become healthier and stronger. Connecting with your community allows you to better understand yourself and others. True connection requires not only helping others, but allowing others to help you. These connections build emotional trust, enable you to cope with difficulties, and lighten the burden of life. When you open up to others, you have a source of not only emotional but also spiritual strength. These bonds with your community are one of the keys to finding meaning in life, increasing inner peace and living a strong life. Dear friends, the art of not worrying is not something that can be mastered in a day. It is a journey. But if you apply these 6 basic steps to your life, I guarantee you will become a more peaceful, happy, and resilient individual. Life is short. Don't waste it worrying. From today, focus on what you can control, let go of what you cannot, and live a happy life. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like it and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video. Bye.